How dare you? How dare
Are
you
you
make
trying
fun
to ruin my fun, Daddy?
of me? What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Mixed Martial Idiots podcast. We have UFC 325 to recap. Volkanovski retains that belt. And then next week, we have Vinicius Oliveira versus Mario Bautista, Fight Night. Let's get right into it, guys. There was other things in the combat sports world. I know that Shakur Stevenson beat Teofimo Lopez also Saturday night, but let's get right into everything, guys. As always, Tanner Dunphy, George Novo. Let's get it.
What's up? Yeah, last night I didn't get to watch most of the fights. Our power went out for several hours, and it kicked back on at the start of the roofie fight, and then our internet cut out at the finish of the roofie fight. So when it came back on, it was just at commercial break, and we were like, "Is there another round? What's happening?" Yeah.
Well,
But
they had the road to the UFC fights before, like the early prelims. We could just do like the
we
Con
were able to
Offley
watch.
fight and up.
We were able to watch two of the road to UFC fights. We watched the first two, the Lawrence Liu and Nakamura, and beautiful knee by Nakamura. Let's just say. But before that, let's cover all the basics of the card.
Okay.
Last night was UFC 325 Volkanovski versus Lopez 2 in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. It was on Paramount Plus, so $12 a month is yours. Starting us off, like Will said, we had the road to UFC bouts. We had Lawrence Liu versus Sulong Bro, whatever the fuck his name is. Doesn't matter. He lost. He's not in the UFC. But he lost a good split decision fight. Do you guys want to I'll just read off the results to the road to the UFC, and then we'll start off going in on Con Offley.
Yeah, that's cool with me. And today we'll switch the order around. You can go with the super fan George Novo, and I will follow him today.
Okay. Yeah, so Lawrence Liu gets a UFC contract with a split decision victory at 135. Then we had Kichiro Nakamura getting a beautiful knockout in round 3 over Sebastian Slay, who I felt was winning the fight up to that point, then got caught with a perfect knee and over. So Nakamura now moves on to 8-1 with a UFC contract. And the last road to UFC bout, because we had one canceled, was Dom Marfan getting a unanimous decision victory over Sang-Uk Kim. Let's cover the fights that got canceled real quick. Aaron Tao fucking it up again. Can't do anything right when it comes to making it in the UFC. Putting his elbow on a fucking curtain, weighing in at, what was that, 122?
His final weight was 129. Yeah, 122.
122. They were like, hey, that didn't balance very well, and that felt really off. Hop back on there and just your underwear real quick. And then 129. So that fight was canceled. I don't think we will see him get another shot. I think he fucked it up too many times. We had Jimmy Crute rupturing his ACL. He was supposed to fight Dustin Jacoby. We had Sergey Spivak supposed to fight Ante Delija. That was rescheduled. And then we had Quinlan Salcad supposed to originally fight Rong Zhu. Quinlan kept on the card, though. to start us off with the real UFC bouts, we had Con Offley getting the majority decision over Yiza at 145. What did you think on that one?
I think that this was a botched call by the judges. I think that Yeez took this fight. I don't know what they saw. Maybe their internet and their TV went off too, and they were just like, "Cool."
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
man, I saw the same thing. Yezov beat up Con Offley for the majority of the fight. He easily won the first 2 rounds. He put Con Offley on skates a few times. Con Offley, he showed veteran heart and experience in the 3rd round. Look, I picked Con Offley to win the fight based on that experience, but he didn't win. Yezov got robbed.
Okay. All right. Moving on to 170. Jonathan Mikalev getting the rear naked choke over Oban Elliott, putting him to sleep. What you got on that one, George?
Man, I wonder if he heard skyrockets in flight. It was the last thing he thought of before he blacked out. That was a thing of beauty. Like I said, I have no problem with someone having a talented, ground game. If they're good at jiu-jitsu, if they're good at wrestling, if they're good at all of it, if you finish. Please, for the love of God, don't make paying customers watch you dry hump for 25 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on the rounds they have. This was not that. Good job. Another one down. Next one up.
Man, I picked Jonathan Mikalev. I thought he was going to knock Oban Elliott out. Oban came out and was putting it on Jonathan Mikalev. He was faster than I'd ever seen him. His boxing was more crisp than I'd ever seen it. Mikalev actually looked really slow until eventually Mikalev caught him. And I don't know if you've seen the injury report since then. Oban Elliott has a collapsed vertical wall and floor in his orbital bone. And he went effectively blind as soon as Jonathan Mikalev landed that shot.
And then he woke up.
And then he woke up, he said. So it's crazy. Toughness by Oban Elliott to stay in there and try to fight. He was on autopilot, basically. But Jonathan Mikalev is for real. I hope that's not the Jonathan Mikalev we're going to get in the stand-up that he showed us in the start of the fight. He's much more technical and a lot more crisp than that. But we know guys at home get jitters, and maybe that was that. But great fight for Jonathan
I think that
Mikalev.
was just him running into a Welsh gangster. Moving on to 185. How happy did this make you guys?
Oh my!
I have heard nothing but shitting on Torres Finney, and we got Jacob Malkoun coming in and getting it done, getting the victory over Torres Finney. What do you guys? George? What do you think on that one?
It was really nice seeing a bobblehead that hugged his way to victory the last time, and we all said that he's gonna run into somebody that can stop a takedown and then run into that fist, and it's gonna be glorious. That's exactly what happened last night.
I thought we were going to see him go to sleep. He was running into those fists too much.
Same.
Will?
Man, Jacob Malkoun putting up Max Holloway numbers for a middleweight. He landed 151 total strikes out of 219. Torres Finney, 42 strikes. Torres got cracked, and he looked like he'd never been hit that hard before in his life, so he didn't know how to react to it. Guys, did you know that Jacob Malkoun was also a 3-0 professional boxer? Makes a lot of sense based on how he pieced up Torres Finney. Torres Finney needs to get off the Adult Film Network and also get off the roids and go down a weight class and learn how to kickbox.
I think that last part is the most key. Learn how to kickbox.
Yeah.
All right. Also at 185 in a world different of a fight, we had Cam Rouston putting down a TKO over Cody Brundage in round 2 with punches from back mount. What do you got, George?
Man, this is yet again another opportunity that Cody Brundage squandered. We've seen this guy finish people before. We've seen him win fights by decision. We know he's got that dog in him and he can win, but it seems like his game just isn't rounded out to handle this adversity from people that are pure strikers. He gets overwhelmed. I will say, however, he was fighting a pterodactyl / baby bird, whatever you want to call it. That dude was dwarfing him. Like when they were telling him to throw a knee, all he barely had to do was lift his leg up. Like it was, I don't know, bad matchup for him.
Yeah. Will?
Man, Cody Brundage did have his moments. He landed some big shots on Cam Ralston. Cam Ralston ate him well. Cam looked prime city kickboxing. By that, I mean he had that stance going on like prime Izzy. Always probing that jab. He's built, like George said, like a pterodactyl. He reminds me of Nico Price, but at middleweight. The guy's going to be massive. He's got those long limbs. He's good at jiu-jitsu too, which is really scary. And Cody was done far before the ground and pound happened. Cam Ralston, he hits like a truck, man. Every time he landed on Cody had a big reaction from it. I want to see Cam go in there against a guy who just wants to strike with him the whole time and who's not going to try to panic wrestle and see something really fun. But Cam Ralston is definitely a prospect to watch. City Kickboxing had a lot of good moments last night.
Yeah, they did. Oh, moving on at 205, Billy Elcana.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
How heartbroken were you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Billy Elcana choking Junior Tafa with a rear naked choke in round 2. George, what did you see? Give us your insight.
Oh man, I saw Junior Tafa folding like a bad hand in poker. Elcana's ground game is savage, man, and Tafa is really starting to question his life choices. What's the combined record between him and his brother? The answer is not good.
Yeah.
Damn. How you gonna do my boy like that, George? Junior Tafa. I don't know if he's managing his gas tank wrong, if he doesn't train grappling at all, but he was beating up Billy Elcana until he wasn't. Credit the son of Susie. He's tough as nails because he was eating shots. Junior Tafa was going to the body. He was tearing up the legs. His boxing looked great. It really is a question of what's going to happen with Junior Tafa now because, I mean, who are you going to put him in there with that isn't either young and up and coming like a hungry person or some vet on their way out? Like, let's see how Dustin Jacoby does, and Junior Tafa and Dustin Jacoby would be awesome because, you know,
I'm here for that.
Dustin Jacoby's not going to take him down at all. And we're going to say Dustin's name in our preview for next week's fight card. So I'm excited for that.
Yes. All right. Moving on to our first real bonus of the night. You know, Billy, Cam, and Jonathan all got $25K for their finishes. But Quinlan coming out with $100K for submission of the night, getting a rear naked choke on Jamie Malarkey in round 1 at 155. George?
Man. I'm going to start calling this dude Bloodbath McGrath. My God. Both Aussies put it all out there, you know, as we thought. Malarkey is built like a shit brick house and could take damage. What we did not think was that Quinlan was going to finish it by submission. I know a lot of people had him on their parlay card for a KO, but man, way to get him out of there in round 1. I mean, that's a seasoned fighter he went up against.
Yeah.
I don't know who they got coming down the pipe next for him, but watch out.
Dude,
Yes.
The best part about Quillen for me is the grappling because we see he has that weird power that for some reason grapplers have. He just has weird power. He throws without worry about getting taken down, I think, because of the confidence of his grappling. So to see him go get Jamie Malarkey in 3 minutes of round 1 and strangle him is fucking bananas. It should scare the next guy. It should tell the next guy, hey, Quillen went in there, and in 3 minutes he had Jamie Malarkey tapping. He was in little to no danger at all. So Quillen is on his way to being the next Australian that lights that region up.
Yeah, the next big thing.
He was already the rookie of the year.
Yeah. And that was our first main event card or main card fight. Jeez, struggling to get that one out. Moving on to what we all knew was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
At heavyweight, Taliesin Teixeira gets a unanimous decision over Tai Tuivasa. I really was expecting a finish, but instead I got two men cuddling. George?
You know, it's we were talking about this last night during the fight companion. The thing that really, really surprised me with this was how terrible Talison's cardio was. To be 26 years old and be that athletically gifted and have you as wore out as Tai Tuivasa is, which is to be expected. Not expected, but I mean, look at the difference in the weight, the structure, the amount of years he has on his body in wars. Like, Taliesin should have been able to walk through that guy in the clinch. And I think if Tuivasa had a little bit better cardio and a little bit better camp, I think he could have got him out of there. I'm not sure if he's cutting too much weight, if he walks around heavier, but something seems off. I know if I was athletically gifted like that and able to skyscrape people with leg kicks like that, that fight would not have lasted that long.
Yeah, Tai Tuivasa is the only UFC fighter whose highlight reel consists of weight cuts.
He came in, he was 330 pounds before he started his camp.
God damn.
And you cannot tell me that he's cardiovascularly ready to go in an 8-week camp. Listen to the weight he had, 330 pounds, and he had to make 265 as the limit.
Yeah, that's
Guys,
65 pounds.
That's a lot of, oh my God, right? So he's still in recovery mode when he's fighting. His body really isn't ready to go full bore like that. And it was shameful for Taliesin Teixeira to not get him out of there, one. And for two, to get so gassed. He was gassed going into the second round. If Tai Tuivasa understood a down blocker and a sprawl or how to fight hands, that fight wouldn't have got to the third round. Tai would have knocked him out. So I think Teixeira really got fraud checked in a victory, and you don't see that very often, right? Like, he got knocked out by Derek Lewis, and we're all like, we just subjugated it to just being Derek Lewis because he punches hard. It could have happened to anyone, and that's absolutely true. But now we really got to take a look at Taliesin Teixeira and be like, hey, is this guy the hype train that everybody thought he was going to be?
No, I agree. And it's a sad look for a division that already doesn't have a lot going on for it.
If I'm the next heavyweight guy, like, you put Taliesin in there with the Josh Hokett, he's getting his ass kicked.
Since body of work that he's done, and it's like, you know what? It really isn't that outstanding. He won a fight, a knockout fight on Contender Series. Then he beat Justin Tafa, and then he lost to Derek Lewis. And then now Tai Tuivasa. His body of work isn't really speaking to me at all.
He's got that Patty Pimblett resume where they're all old, except for one of the unks beat him.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we need something good in the heavyweight soon. And hopefully we get Gable Stevenson coming in, and we get to see some competition there. And hopefully we get somebody else to, pair with him that goes along. That would be great. Anyways, moving on to the first fight I actually got to see part of live. At 155, Mauricio Rufy getting it done and getting $100K for a knockout of the night bonus. Knocking out Rafael Fiziev in round 2. What do you got on that one, George?
Man, I want to say Rufy shocked the world. He is one of the fighting nerds that doesn't have a sociopathical, cheesy, annoying personality like Hokett. I think that Hoofy showed that he's willing to step out of his comfort zone and learn other things to become a complete fighter because, his last fight didn't go his way. He could have just went right back to same old same, but he was like, nah, I'm going to try training at a different camp. Let's see if I can do a little bit better. And Fazeev is a freaking murderer. I said it last night. The way that dude is cut, I feel like if you shot that man, the bullet might bounce off and hit you. Um, Do we think that Fazeev's wear and tear is catching up now? Is the chin starting to go? Or is this just a situation where you got hit by a primetime, roided out Mark McGuire / slugger to the jaw?
I don't see. I was referencing his physique. I feel terrible to a certain extent because he was talking about how he had the flu all last week. That'll make you drop mass. He lost his brother a few days ago. That's terrible. I'm sure he's not eating. I'm sure he's extremely emotional, dude. I'm very close to my brother, so I don't want to get into that too much, right? So the poor guy was going through all the emotions, and he also had a terrifying blender of a human being in Rafael Fazeev in front of him. Fazeev, like, to George's credit, he looked like a G.I. Joe doll in there. It was absolutely bananas. And, sometimes they weigh in and they're all shredded, and then they fuel up a little bit and they're not so shredded. It looked like Fazeev just blew up. Like, the cuts all stayed the same. He was just twice as muscular. Fazeev was fighting his ass off. The numbers are a little skewed in the significant strikes because once Hoofy hurt him, he landed a lot of strikes. But that first round was all Rafael Fazeev. I know Hoofy was getting reads, and it looked like Hoofy broke his arm. He was in a sling at the end of the fight, but that dude's got spirit. For him to lose like he did to Benoit Saint Denis, which seems to be a pretty fucking common thing currently. People are just losing left and right to that guy.
Except
for him to lose that,
Renato Moicano,
Dustin Poirier,
money, yes, and Dustin.
Mauricio Hoofy came in there and bounced back just absolutely beautifully. And city kickboxing, right? Like, I know in the next fight, Dan Hooker kind of got beat up and dampened the party for him, but Volk picked him up at the end. But yeah, Mauricio Hoofy, I know he was hanging out with Carlos Prates after the fight. He's still affiliated with the Fighting Nerds, but he is a city kickboxer right now.
He said that he is still a Fighting Nerd. That's still his home. He just wanted to go out and check places. Jean Silva is the one that I feel like is feeding all this because he was freaking out about it and talking shit to people that Hoofy's trained. He was talking shit to Volk about it.
Mm-hmm. Silly.
Yeah. Let's move on to our co-main. We talked about it a little bit. Benoit Saint Denis getting it done in round 2 over Dan Hooker, finishing with some punches and elbows on top of him. Dan Hooker, the dummy, tried to get a takedown of his own with underhook, little body lock, tried to swing Benoit Saint Denis to the ground. Saint Denis used it for himself, ended up on top, and the rest is history. Dan was doing so well, and then he tried to get his own takedown and ended up on bottom in a bad position with a lot of time left. George?
Man, we did not get a shoey, unfortunately, but you already know what time it is because of who it is. We got Dan the Hangman Hooker and God of War, may your hammer be mighty, Saint Denis. Man,
yes.
He got mauled. This was punches and elbows from Mount. And Saint Denis been in some wars. I mean, his own blood was all over Dan before Dan's own blood was all over Dan. But my God, Hooker ate them shots like they were free samples, like he was walking through Sam's Club. Saint Denis is a French freight train now on a 4-0 streak, excuse me. And Hooker's tough, man, but BSD broke him. Man, that was savage.
Yeah. Well, I'll let Will go on this one, and then I'll say something about it.
Yeah, like Tanner, like these guys were talking about, Dan just got a little prideful. He wanted that get back to be taken down. Dan always talks about his grappling. It's actually pretty good. We hear this all the time, but the evidence doesn't lead to having good grappling, Dan. Maybe when you get up, you just break and do that shit that you're known for, which is throw bones and knees and do damage, which he was. He was looking great. He was vibing. The stand-up was going his way. But if you take a guy who can just throw bones and knock people out against a guy that has a complete MMA game, you have to take the guy with the complete game every single time. And Benoit just proved that again. So another tough one for Dan Hooker, another arm triangle, and the UFC's still not going to cut him because he sells a lot of tickets.
He's fun to watch, man.
It's fun.
No
I'm down
arm
for that
triangle.
Edson Barbosa fight.
He shut the arm triangle down. All right.
Oh.
He was shutting that down at least. Here's the thing with this one is, man, BSD showed great in this, but like his only two losses in the UFC, or three. He had three, but we won't count the first one. His last two losses in the UFC, Dustin Poirier stopped him in round 2. All right. We can agree that Dustin Poirier is championship caliber, but not champion, right? Renato Moicano is not. I like Renato. I'm a big fan of Moicano. He's not championship caliber.
No.
And Renato Moicano made BSD look like easy money. All right.
With a broken collarbone.
With a broken collarbone. With a broken freaking neck. All right. I don't see BSD really going far. I think he's got to show himself against somebody who also has a complete game and isn't old as dirt like Beneil Dariush. All right. Because look, if you showed me that Benny Dariush knockout like 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been like, holy shit, this kid's going to be champion soon.
Uh-huh. Yep.
But Benny has had a long path to here. And Benny has been getting chin checked quite a bit. Charles chin checked him. Armin chin checked.
That's not so fair.
Alexander Hernandez chin checked him.
Fuck that guy.
Right? So it's one of those like, man, you beat up the old guy. Congrats. And then you beat up a bunch of prospects who don't have a ground game. Kyle Propolek, Mauricio Hufi, Dan Hooker now. But when you fight somebody who's a true contender or a true top 15 fighter, you struggle. You know?
That's right.
All right, let's move on. 145, our main event. Alexander the Great Volkanovski getting it done over 5 rounds to get the unanimous decision over Diego Lopez again. One of the judges scored this a 50-45, and I don't know if I agree with that. Look.
No, that's crazy work.
I think Volk won, but I don't think it was a 50-45.
No.
This one fight of the night, and Will, to your credit, you called it on the first kick when we were doing our little fight companion. You said, oh, man, right on the shin. And Diego leaves with 2 broken feet. And I think it was from clashing those shins all night. Because he didn't really land on the elbow.
Oh, no. He landed on that shin.
On the shin,
they traded. The first exchange, they both did it.
Yes.
Oh, and then Volk was checking Chris Weidman style, the way that Chris broke Anderson's leg. Volk was checking into the kick and sliding back. So Diego was landing the top of the foot on the knee.
Nasty. It was a good fight. Both these boys got the fight of the night. So $100K to both of them on top of whatever they're making. And Volk just showing us why he's great. He has now tied Jose Aldo's record for most title defenses, which is incredible. One more, and he is undoubtedly the featherweight GOAT. Right. George, you want to give us your take on this?
Well, through the fight and before it, I'd already said that if Diego doesn't close the show on Volk and get this win, he is forever going to have that asterisk next to his name. And it's going to be a long time, I think, before he gets a crack at the title again, unless he changes divisions or Volk retires before then. That being said, to sit in there and break both your feet and hang in a 25-minute fight, I mean, that's some hardcore Brazilian, Mexican, American, whatever mix he is, Huevos. Is this the rematch though we all craved? I don't think so. I feel like this is. I don't want to take away from Lopez because he is a highly skilled fighter, highly explosive. I feel like he's done so many favors to the UFC as far as stepping in late and things like that for him that they're like, look, we're going to give you another one. Volk, however, is the Aussie king. He truly is Alexander the Great. Lopez brought the fire, man, but Volk striking again and takedown defense were the chef's kiss.
See what you
This
did
is a
there.
clean sweep, man, and like you said, Volk ties Aldo's record with an 8 defense. Lopez is still elite, but Volk's still the goat down under. And the crowd erupted. What a way to go out of your hometown! And I thought that he was giving out retirement vibes when the family went in there.
No,
Yeah, I thought so too, man. I thought it would have been a good time to. Not, I don't ever want to doubt the guy, but we've seen some stuff, and he gets clipped, and the two guys that he could fight next are dynamic in either department. Like Lerone Murphy is going to be a generational striker. Yair Rodriguez is a generational striker. Volk beat him. Max Holloway, generational type striker. Volk beat him, but they're different, right? Lerone Murphy's got that pop and that Muay Thai style. He's got that boxing that's really tight, and he's really good defensive wrestling. Movsar Evloev has big power. He's got really good pressure with the wrestling. He's got very good jiu-jitsu. The most favorable matchup for me is Movsar Evloev and Volk, because I think Volk has spent the last 3 years preparing for that style, and Islam Makhachev. And Diego Lopez with his style, right? He's very good with the jiu-jitsu. I think he would beat Movsar. I think the most dangerous matchup is Lerone Murphy. And if Volk gets in there with Lerone's going to attack him smooth, technically, and in a different way than Lopez ever did. And I think Lerone might get my money.
not to be confused with Lauren Murphy, who's fighting next week.
Yeah, no. But it was a great fight.
Yes. Man, I don't know. I think the featherweight division has a lot going on for it, and there's a lot I'd like to see within it. I think, George, you nailed it right on the head. This kind of fucks Diego out of another title shot for a while unless Volk loses the belt. Because, first off, we knew that was going to be the case if he lost, regardless. Because he got this fight less than a year and he only had one fight in between. Crazy when you have guys who are undefeated in the division who have been smoking everybody. You have way better options, but we get a second bout when only Diego has fought since then. Volk didn't even have a fight in between the Diego Lopez first fight.
Nope.
Just wild to me.
I think Volk broke his hand in the Lopez fight.
I think so. It's crazy that YouTube chef is a UFC champion.
Yeah,
Wild
George
to me.
with the slick little caveat in there.
I like that. Yeah.
That did not go unnoticed. That was very good.
All right. Let's move on to next week, February 7th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Apex Center. We have UFC Fight Night, Bautista versus Oliveira. Standard start time here, prelims at 5, main card at 9. We had a couple bouts that were supposed to happen on this. Jose Enrique Souza supposed to fight Nikolay Vertiniakov. Souza withdrew, and unfortunately, Vertiniakov was pulled from the card. We had, Souza was supposed to fight Eric Nolan first. Eric Nolan pulled out, and then Souza withdrew from his next bout. Then we had Ryan Superman Span was supposed to fight Rizvan Kuniev, but yeah, well, Superman Span probably had that same thought because he pulled out of that bout. Rizvan Kuniev is still on the card and has a great replacement. We'll get into that.
Yeah, I see him.
And then, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jailton Almeida is a problem. All right.
He is. He is. Then we got the only
Salty
hope
Baev.
for Japan. The only hope for Japan to have a belt, and then we'll send it to GIF when it happens. Kyoji Hiraguchi.
Oh, Haraguchi. Well, Iran Saltabayev was supposed to fight Julius Walker, but Saltabayev had to withdraw. And Julius Walker is still on the card. He is fighting just Dustin Jacoby. So,
oh no! What an award to win for your opponent to fall off, and then they give you Dustin Jacoby, and you're a kickboxer. Fuck.
Right.
Oh no.
All right. So to start us off, we have a women's bout on this card. We have Priscilla Cachoeira taking on Claudia Segula at 135. I'm going Claudia all the way on this one. George?
Man, Cachoeira is a Brazilian brawler who swings like she's late for the bus, but her chin's been on vacation lately. Segula is the Polish newcomer with KO power and a name that sounds like an IKEA shelf, sturdy but unpronounceable. I think this is a fight where someone gets dropped and the ref yells, Segula, more like see you later. Expect blood and bad decisions. I'm going Segula TKO round 2.
Man, that's a solid pick. I am going to go Claudia. Let's not forget that Priscilla's nickname is Zombie Girl, although I will say the caveat George put in there about her chin being on vacation recently is absolutely true. You mix that with that Polish striking. If you want to be a good kickboxer, Poland is also not a bad place to go do it. They have a lot of legendary strikers out there. And the Polish power is real because it's in a bantamweight female right now. And I think Priscilla Cachoeira will let her grappling go to the wayside, which she should be using absolutely. And Claudia is going to put one on her chin. Claudia.
Okay. All right, so we're all going Claudia on that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Good call. Switching to the men's 135, we have Main Gufarov taking on Jacob Wickelax. I'm going with the male model Jacob here. George?
Gafurov's a Tajik grinder with wrestling chains, but he's lost steam in the UFC. Wickelax is a Polish champ with sneaky submissions and a record longer than a CVS receipt. I say Gurfa fights like he's protecting his lunch money, but he's going to get it stole via rear naked choke while humming the Polish national anthem.
See, I hate it when you guys think the same thing I think with every fight. So we need to find some kind of crossroads here in this card. But right now we have all green lights. Jacob Wickelax goes in there. He beats up Patchy Mix in his debut. Granted,
he did, dude.
Granted, Patchy Mix is not the Patchy Mix in that he was in Bellator, which is wild. It might lead us to believe that there was some kind of enhancement, maybe, and not the Blue Chew. Jacob Wickelax can grapple his ass off, and he's got big power. Look for Wickelax to finish him with the jiu-jitsu. Well played, George Novo.
Yes. All right. Moving on, at 125 in the women's division, we have a good one. This is a good one for women. We have the Joker, Kong Wang, taking on Eduarda Mora. I'm going with the Joker on this one. I'm going Kong Wang.
Man.
Wang
Her,
sounds like a sound effect.
her kickboxing is second to none. She beat Valentina Shevchenko in a kickboxing bout. Need I say more?
I think she sounds like a sound effect from a bad kung fu movie. Moira wants to hug it out on the mat like an overenthusiastic ant. This could be flyweight fireworks or a snooze fest cuddle. I think Wang by decision. I think her striking precision wins the stand-up chess match.
Well, good news, boys. We found our controversy because I think
I knew it was
Eduarda
going to
could
be
get
this
her
one.
to the floor. I think Eduarda could get her to the floor. I think her jiu-jitsu, and I think it's going to be a ground and pound. I don't think that she's going to be able to secure a strangulation over Wang Kong, but I think she's going to beat her up on the floor. And it's not going to be for 15 minutes. It's going to be the first time she gets Wang's shoulders flat to the mat, it's over with.
Okay. I hope you're wrong. All right. Moving on to 135. We have one that's going to be a good one. We have Saeed Nurmagomedov taking on Javier Basharat, the snow leopard. I'm going with Saeed. Both these boys really need this. I expect more out of Saeed. I don't know. George?
Nurmagomedov's the flashy Dagestani cousin with the spinning kicks. Basharat's the undefeated, well, almost, brother act with wrestling pressure. Another Basharat. UFC's cloning these guys like stormtroopers, and I think Nurmagomedov is going to wheel kick this dude and execute Order 66 on him. Saeed, KO, round 1.
Ooh. I don't know that it'll be a round 1 KO, but I do think he beats him up just because. Have you guys heard the stories of what happens to these guys from Team Habib when they lose? The one guy was playing World of Warcraft with Demetrius Johnson during his training camp, loses a split decision. Habib goes in there, smashes his computer. I don't think Saeed Nurmagomedov got any special treatment after his last loss. Look for Saeed to come in there with his own life and his with his own life in mind, and he's going to go out there and finish Javid Basharat.
Yes. I think Saeed's going to come out, and he's got a point to prove.
Man,
and
you know the video I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When Habib's talking to Mighty Mouse, he's like, brother, we break his computer.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
How come you don't play PUBG anymore?
Yeah. So Saeed lost some toys, that's for sure. He's going to come out and beat that ass.
Yes. All right. Next up, another banger for women's. We have Bruna Brazil taking on Ketlin Souza at 115. This is another, I feel like, make it or break it for either one of these girls. Ketlin Souza has been robbed on her last 2. I think I'm going with Ketlin on this one over Bruna Brazil. I think that dude is going to beat up that lady. George?
Man.
Sorry, I had to do that to you.
She looks like famous enough for that to cancel us.
Hey, look, I'm sorry, but she looks like Gervonta Davis, all right?
Brazil fights like she's arguing with traffic, man, and nonstop jabs. Souza hits like she means it, but if it goes too long, I think she'll be gasping like a fish on land. Brazil by decision, outlast the early storm for a point win.
Man, no, I don't think. Yes, that's likely.
Yes,
Ketlin, like Tanner said, has been on the wrong end of some bad decisions. I think she's going to go out there, sprawl and brawl. She carries a lot of power. Bruna has incredible jiu-jitsu. She doesn't have the best wrestling. She doesn't have the best, cleanest striking. She does have pop in her hands. But I think Ketlin Souza is going to put on a boxing clinic. And she's going to get her out of there because she's tired of losing these bullshit decisions.
Okay. Yeah. All right. This next one, I feel like is a layup. We've got Alex Morano taking on Daniil Donachenko at 170 for the featured prelim, and I really feel they're tossing Alex Morano. Hey, you can do this, all right? And I think Alex is going to get out there He's going to start in with his striking, find that his striking is a little ahead of Daniil. Daniil has a hell of a chin on him, and he can throw some leather. But I think Alex is just a few levels above him. So I'm going with Alex Morano on this one. I think the experience is going to shine through. What I saw from Donachenko in his Ultimate Fighter appearance, he looked great. I mean, he won the Ultimate Fighter. But there's a lot to be desired, and the striking isn't as high as it should be for a striker. You know?
Damn. We're going to have some kind of bet on this. Some kind of wager. Gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. All right. I'll
A
take
shoey on it. Loser does a shoey.
Loser does a shoey. Why you want me to?
I'm not stepping on George, but I just can't stand for the blasphemy that just came out of your mouth. George, tell him why he's fucking wrong.
Ah, man. Morano's the vet with sneaky power and endless experience. He's been in more wars than a history book and durable as fuck. Doncheko sounds like a Bond villain. If he wins, expect an evil laugh post-fight. I think Morano by decision. I just think the vet's going to start the school in the newbie.
Who's the wild one now?
That Daniil has heavy hands, but he's still green, and I think the vet's going to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know, the thinking behind both your guys' picks is not terrible. It's actually very smart. I think I saw something opposite to what Tanner saw. I saw Daniil Donachenko in there landing elbows inside the clinch on people, doing the Chris Weidman, Mark Munoz style elbow to a guy in a fight. He's durable. He's resilient. He's not going to give up on himself. Alex Morano's, 37 years old? And he's been in there with absolute killers, a bunch of slugfests. He takes a lot of shots. He's there to be hit. And I think we just see Daniil beat him up. If this was Alex Morano at 30 years old, yes, absolutely. But it's not. This is Alex Morano that's been beat the shit out of for the last 3 years. All the respect in the world, love the guy to death, but it's just not the right time for him to fight a guy like Daniil Donachenko. So I'm going Daniil. Loser does a shoey.
Okay. All right. Our first bout on our main card here at 205, we have Dustin Jacoby taking on Julius Walker. Man, this is a hell of a third fight for Julius Walker. His first fight, Alonzo Menefield. Second fight, Rafael Cuquera. And now Dustin Jacoby on short notice. Damn. I'm going Dustin Jacoby all the way on this one. I think this is a bad matchup for Julius Walker. And I think we see a striking clinic by Dustin Jacoby and possibly a knockout. George?
This is the main card, 9 o'clock. We'll call it the primetime circus, where rankings flip and bonuses fly. Jacoby's the kickboxer with laser strikes. Walker's the powerhouse with KO reels but untested waters. I think Jacoby looks like an accountant who moonlights as a fighter, precise but boring. Walker, he's a dude who bench presses the entire cage, one swing and it's bedtime stories. However, I'm going Jacoby by decision. Experience and range are going to frustrate the big swinger.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think so. Also, Dustin Jacoby is a scratch golfer. A lot like him and Justin Gaethje play a lot of golf. His plan, after fighting, is to go play in the PGA and absolutely could do so. Now, before the UFC, he was a glory kickboxer and a very decorated one, a super talented one.
Fought a person we all know and love, Chama.
Yeah, Alex Pereira, and it didn't go well for him, as you can imagine.
2 minutes.
I don't think Julius Walker is going to be able to keep up with the footwork. I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with the pressure. And as Tanner said, for this to be your third fight. Now, if you were a complete MMA fighter, like if you had a good double leg and you have really good jiu-jitsu and wrestling top pressure, fighting a Dustin Jacoby, it's a daunting thing, but it's not as daunting if you can change where the game is played. Julius Walker's not going to be able to change where the game's going to be played. He's going to be on his feet in front of Dustin Jacoby for the entirety of it or until it's over via Dustin Jacoby shutting the lights off. you got to give me the Hanyak knockout.
The Hanyak, yes. All right, next up at 135, we've got the undefeated Farad Basharat, 14-0, taking on the 17-1 Jean Matsumoto. I'm going Matsumoto on this one. I think Jean Matsumoto any day can be a top 5 contender in the bantamweight division. George?
Matsumoto's the finishing machine, man, and he is on a tear. Basharat's undefeated with smothering wrestling. I think Basharat's perfect record is cleaner than a hypochondriac's house. Matsumoto wants to end it early like a bad date. If he stuffs takedowns, it's party time. I think Basharat by decision. I think his grappling nullifies the hype train.
Finn?
Yeah, I think John Matsumoto has the game-changing power, and he is pretty damn good at jiu-jitsu himself to nullify some of that wrestling. I think Farid is going to get it against the fence. He's going to put him down to the floor a couple of times, but I think John Matsumoto is going to – I think he's going to squeak out a decision, and he might beat up Farid Basharat in the process.
I think he's going to. I think he's going to beat him up for sure. You know what I'm excited for, though? This next one. This has Fight of the Night written all over it. At 185, we have Michal Olajayshik taking on Marc-Andre Barriault. Both these boys like to throw. They like to trade leather. Power bar. He's looking to come and he's looking to clean your head off. Same with Michal Olajayshik. I think Andre Barriault has to get a win here. I think Michal is not as hungry, but I'm going Michal all the way on this one.
Ooh-wee. Who did Marc-Andre lose to in his last fight?
Marc-Andre's lost these last 4 out of his last 5. So Chris Curtis, then Joe Pyfer, Dustin Stoltzfus, beat Bruno Silva, and then lost to Shara Bullet.
Oh, damn it, Bobby.
Both of them have lost to Shara Bullet, both by decision.
Man,
George?
This is the Polish power puncher versus the Canadian tank who absorbs damage like it's a sponge. Somebody take a look and get a core sample at Barriault's chin, man. I think it's made of Nokia phones and it's unbreakable. Olajayshik hits like he stole something. This is going to be a slugfest or a why won't he fall down type comedy. I'm gonna go Olajayshik by knockout round 2. I think power cracks the code eventually.
Yeah. And Olajayshik has great striking, and now that he's with the Fighting Nerds, it's only getting better.
Yeah.
All right.
Michal Olajayshik, his striking is a lot more polished than Marc-Andre Barriault's striking. Marc-Andre is throwing howitzers, right? And he actually has decent cardio for a big guy, and he just gets touched up a lot. If you have good technique and you can stay away from his nukes, you can touch Marc-Andre up pretty effectively. He's got clubbing feet, which means he's not gliding around. You can kick his legs. You can get to his body a lot. Olajayshik, he's going to check every box. He's going to have a good jab. He's going to throw that pullback right hand when Marc-Andre swings wild with that hook. Olajayshik's going to start beating up the legs first. And I think it'll be a late game finish, late 3rd round. I think Marc-Andre is going to be – he's going to have his legs beat up. His liver's going to be touched up. His guard's going to be beaten up and battered from blocking kicks. And then Olajayshik's going to put the one on his chin that ends it. I think it's going to be just a knockout due to accumulation.
Yeah. Just to be clear, I think this could absolutely go the other way too.
Anything can happen when the big boys are throwing.
I think this next one is the one that I'm most curious to see. And I'm least certain about. At heavyweight, we have Jailton Almeida taking on Rizvan Kuniev. Oh my gosh, my mic getting yanked away from me.
Were both these guys training for a fight, or was Jailton coming off the couch?
Jailton was coming off the couch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's good information to have.
Mm-hmm. Rizvan was training to face a wrestler in Ryan Spahn.
Oh man.
So that's a great thing when you're going up against somebody like Jailton Almeida, who is a grappler, and he is looking to grapple you. Granted, he has 8 wins by knockout, but he has 13 wins by submission. The man is looking to get you to the ground and strangle the shit out of you. Against Rizvan, though, that might be a little difficult. The man's never been submitted, has 3 submission victories himself, and he looks to knock people out with his 6 KO wins. Also, this is his second fight in the UFC. Second fight in the UFC, he's getting thrown Jailton Almeida. You know what his first fight in the UFC was? Curtis Blades.
Yes, I remember.
He lost by split decision. All right. Second
Curtis
fight in the
Blades
UFC.
knocked him out. He lost split decision to Volkov.
No. You're thinking Jailton.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, Jailton got knocked out by Curtis Blades. And his last fight was Volkov. He lost a split decision. No, Rizvan has only fought in the UFC one time. He had a contender series fight before that, which he won with 1 second left in the first round. Kneed the guy to the body and then followed him up. Got his contract, and then had a fight against Martin Boudet canceled, and then was supposed to fight Curtis Blades 2 other times, and it got canceled. Then finally fought Curtis and lost via split decision. I'm going with Rizvan on this one, but I think Jailton really could get it done. I want to see what this hype is on Rizvan, why he keeps getting top 10 heavyweight fighters. You know, he fought Curtis Blades, and Curtis Blades was ranked number 7. Now he's fighting number 3. Do they just want to get him the fuck out of there, or is he supposed to beat these guys? George?
Man, Almeida drags people to hell faster than a bad job on a Monday. Kuniev, if he keeps it standing, it's hammer time, but 1 takedown and it's over. I was going to go with Almeida by submission round 1, but as we were breaking it down and talking about it, the fact that he lost his last fight against a far striker,
better wrestler,
a guy whose grappling is nowhere near his level. I think I'm going to go the other way. I think that Kuniev is going to come out with a win on this. If I'm wrong, cool, but I'm just not sold on the guy.
Yeah, this is the one that, like I said, I just don't know. I don't know. Jailton Almeida's grappling is phenomenal, but like you just point out, losing to Volkov and struggling to do anything to Volkov. And I think that one, if I remember correctly, I thought Jailton won that fight, and he was robbed. But he was still struggling to do stuff with Volkov. That was the fight that Volkov won from his back. He spent most of the fight on his back. Yeah. George or Will, what do you got?
Man, Rizvan has a bunch of steroid accusations, right? Like
I don't know. He came from
problems
PFL.
with USADA. Yeah,
he fought in Khabib's organization, Eagle FC.
Eagle FC.
And then he went to PFL.
Steroids.
Yeah, he beat Renan Ferreira, and then he tested positive for. Let's see, for drostanolone, metinolone, boldenone, and 19 norendrosterone. Jesus,
all the big ones. So the only thing he's missing is D-ball. Jesus Christ. Yeah, man, a guy like that, they don't stay away from the shit. They just get better at hiding it. Jailton Almeida, if this was a fight where Jailton had a full camp, I'm taking Jailton Almeida. It's a fight where he's coming off the couch and he's got confidence questions in his head. Rizvan needs to defend 2 takedowns, and then he's striking with Jailton. And like DC said, Jailton Almeida can't fucking fight, dog. If he's not on top of you, his hands are butt. And Rizvan can knock you out because he's got the assist of every pharmaceutical Russia can put into him. So I'm going Rizvan. And it's going to be a highlight reel, and then he's going to fail his USADA or whatever it is in 3 months.
Oh, no. Well, and not to mention the size difference, the absolute size difference. There's 1 inch in height difference. Rizvan 6'4", Jelton 6'3", but Rizvan is a natural heavyweight. He weighs in at
he's a big boy.
264 and a half pounds, 265 every time he weighs in, right? Jelton weighs in at 237. That was his last bout, what he weighed in at.
Of just horse meat, though.
He doesn't cut weight. He just fights at his walk-around weight. Granted, he's shredded, and I doubt he could make 205 without really depleting his body, but I think he could make 205, let me be clear. I just think we're going to see a bigger, stronger fighter who is preparing for a fight, taking on somebody who isn't entirely ready. And I think we're going to see that show up in the later rounds. Moving on to our co-main, 125. This is going to be a good one. Don't change it just because they're only 125 pounds.
One of you guys got to let Dave know we're on the
co-main. George, can you do that? We have number 9 ranked Amir Albazi taking on the future flyweight champion, Koji Horiguchi. I think Horiguchi is going to do it. I think he's going to make his way all the way to the top. I know they're giving him this co-main and set up for something else if he wins. And I expect him to win. I'm riding that Horiguchi hype train all the way. If Mighty Mouse hadn't have been there, Horiguchi would have been our champ a long time ago. George?
What are we gonna do? The whole entire Power Ranger shit? Yeah, Horiguchi. That's all I got on that.
No, Power Rangers. Yeah, Kyoji Horiguchi is the total package. I don't think Amir's going to threaten him whatsoever in the striking. I'm not worried about Amir hitting any kind of single leg, running the pipe on him, anything like that. Kyoji's anti-jiu-jitsu is amazing. Look for Kyoji to avoid every takedown attempt from Amir and piece him up from the start of the fight until it's over with.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun one for sure. Now let's move on to our main event here. This is also going to be a fun one. At bantamweight, 135 in the men's division, we have Mario Batista taking on Vinicius Oliveira. Lockdog just been putting it on people since he got into the UFC. Coming off that contender series. Big hook knockout to get himself a contract, and flying knee. Then he beats up Ricky Simone, Said Nurmagomedov, Kyler Phillips. Now we're here. Now we're staring at Mario Batista. Mario Batista, who himself has been on an absolute tear. He lost his last bout to Umar Nurmagomedov, who went on the fight for the belt, and is a problem. But he dog walked Patchy Mix. He beat the brakes out of Jose Aldo, Ricky Simone, Damon Blackshear. He has been on a tear since getting to the UFC, only losing to 2 people, Corey Sandhagen in 2019. Problem. And his first bout in the UFC. And then Trevin Jones, just a few fights later in 2021. Hasn't lost since, except for Umar, which was a tough bout.
Yeah, he got a lot of work done in that fight.
Yeah. I'm going with Mario all the way on this one.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with Oliveira because I watched his last fight, and his forward pressure is absolutely relentless. And he's actually on my lock for the parlay for this. I'm going to go with Oliveira by money line, Almeida with a submission, and Old JJ by knockout. That is my 3-leg parlay.
Not bad.
You're going to get it out right here on the podcast and put me on the spot, and I'm going to throw a 3-legger up here? Okay. Now, first.
I'll join in on that.
I think Mario Bautista is going to out-cardio him. I think he's going to survive the first round. Is this a 3 or a 5-round fight?
5.
5-rounder? Oh yeah.
5-5s.
Mario is hard to put
Excuse me.
away. Vinicius Oliveira carries a lot of power, and he also carries a lot of size and weight. I think Bautista is gonna have a rough first 10 minutes of this fight, rough first 7 minutes of this fight, and about the 17 to 20 minute mark, you're gonna see Vinicius Oliveira look like he saw a fucking ghost as his cardio leaves him. His muscles start to fail because he can't grind and wrestle like Mario Bautista. He's constantly getting thrown on his hands, and he's fucking trying to get to his whizzer. It's just going to be 5 rounds of hell from Mario Bautista. Now, Vinicius Oliveira, could he catch him in some of that? Absolutely. Like I said, he carries a lot of power. But I see a full 5 rounds of a complete MMA masterclass coming from Mario Bautista.
Yep.
And then we're searching for him another opponent up near the top, man. Mario Bautista, all the way. Now, my three-legger, I'm going Mario Bautista, decision, unanimous decision. He's going to have some big shots he's going to eat. Kyoji Hiraguchi, finish. I don't know if he's going to knock out Amir Albazi or strangle him. That's up to Amir Albazi. And I would probably go Mikhail Olajszak, 3rd round knockout. I don't know what the number is going to be on DraftKings. I will chase that number for you and post in the group chat. But Mario Bautista, decision. Kyoji Hiraguchi, anytime finish. Olajszak, 3rd round knockout.
All right. So we're all going Olajszak knockout on ours.
I think he's an anchor, right? That's what you would call it?
Yes. But I'm going Olajszak knockout. I'm going Kong Wang knockout.
Ooh.
And I'm going Mario Bautista by decision. That's where I'm going.
Good call.
I was thinking, I was playing with Horiguchi by decision or Dustin Jacoby by knockout.
I got to write that down or I'm going to forget it. Cook that right up on the spot. But yeah, we'll post them. Why don't we post them to the Mixed Martial Idiots page, the Buzz Sports MMA page, and Buzz Sports Media. We'll put those in the Discord. I'm going to try to do that right now so I don't forget like I always do. That's all I have. What do you guys got anything to add? You want to say? You want to complain? You want to fist fight? What are we doing?
Yes and yes. And
Okay.
also yes.
All right.
Duh. I've got nothing else to add.
All righty. I'm going to write that parlay down right now. Sorry, I'm chasing my notebook. And then I'm going to get it on DraftKings and post the odds because that feels good to me.